Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today's video is an update in my Pan Those Eyeshadows project pan. Like I said in my rolling style project pan video, I can't believe we're already in August and I feel the same way. Still filming this video that I can't believe we're already in August. I can't believe we're already on our 7th update of this series. It is crazy, but it's another great update because I have hit another pan, which is super exciting. My goal for this year is to hit 10% of pan in my collection, and we are getting dangerously close to that number. So super excited about that. I'm excited to roll a new shade into this project, and then I always end these videos with doing like an updated look with the 5 shades in the project. So that's really fun too because I get a new shade to work with for that look as well. But before I get much further, I just want to do a kind of quick summary of what a Pan Those Eyeshadows project pan is. And basically how this project works is you randomly select 5 eyeshadows from your collection that do not already have pan on them, and then work on those eyeshadows on an ongoing basis until you hit pan on a shadow. Once you have hit pan on that shadow, you roll it out and you randomly select another eyeshadow from your collection of eyeshadows that don't have pan to roll into the project. And you kind of just continue working through your collection and increasing the amount of pans that you have hit on your eyeshadows, which I absolutely love because I love being able to see a well-loved collection. And the other benefit of this is you're using shadows that maybe you would never necessarily pick out, or you're using different shadows together in combinations that maybe you never would have put together. So it also really just inspires your creative side, and it's super fun. And I think the whole like random selection part too just makes this way more exciting than some other projects that I'm working on. Maybe not way more exciting, but definitely like for me as a creator, like it's more fun to like randomly select a new eyeshadow to work on than maybe pick out something out of my collection that I've already kind of decided I want to pan. Okay, so that's that. I'm a total nerd for this project, and I have a whole spreadsheet with like all of my numbers, and I love kicking off these videos by talking through the numbers, and then we'll go through all the shades that are still going to be in this project next month, and then we'll pick out the new one. So let's jump right in. Okay, so since last month, and actually since the beginning of this project, I have not rolled any new eyeshadows into my collection. And so we still sit at 204 eyeshadows. 17 of them are single shadows. 187 of those shadows sit in 11 different eyeshadow palettes. I will say though, I did order the Kathleen Lights El Maquillage collaboration palette, and so I will be adding a new palette to my collection very soon, which will also up my number of eyeshadows, which unfortunately will drive down my pan percentage, but that's okay. Right now, with the new pan coming from the project, I have a total of 20 pans across my collection, which brings my pan percentage to 9.8%. My goal for this year is to hit 10%, so like I said at the beginning of this video, I am dangerously close to hitting that 10%, although once I add the new palette and all of the new eyeshadows in that palette to my collection, my pan percentage obviously will drop, but that's okay because we'll still have the rest of the year to hit that 10%. But because that palette hasn't arrived in the mail yet, the total number of eyeshadows eligible to be rolled in is 184. So those are my numbers. Super excited to see the 9.8% pan. You all know this. I love keeping track. It's super fun for me. And so I hope you always enjoy the number updates at the top of these videos. But without further ado, let's talk about the shades that are still going to remain in the project. Since I was not jumping up and down and celebrating at the top of this video, you have to know that my Alamar Spanglish palette and the shade Muy Excited remains in the project. I used this for a total of 13 times this month. There is definitely a dip in this shadow, but it is a very small, very dainty dip, which is amazing to me. Someone commented on my last video, it's like, at least you know you're getting your money's worth. And I'm like, you're absolutely right. Like, this is amazing that this product is lasting as long as it is. And if it wasn't in this project, I probably would have never noticed or cared. I think because I'm so determined to hit pan on it, and it's just like I feel like I'm not making any progress, it's why I make the comments that I make about it. But in general, like, I love the shade, I love the quality of the palette, and it's like amazing that it's lasting as long as it is. But yeah, that being said, still have a very small dip going in there, not a ton of progress to really visibly see, and that dip is not super deep. So who knows when we'll finish it. Hopefully by December 31st I will have pan on that, but You never know. Next shade comes from my Kathleen Lights ColourPop collab, So Jaded, and I'm working on the shade right here called Garnet. I used Garnet 6 times this month. I'm also working on another purplish shade that's coming from my ABH Jackie Aina palette, which I'll show you next. And I feel like that purple shade and Garnet, I've kind of switched back and forth in terms of using them in the same way. So I've done some halo eyes with both of them, and then I would say I mostly just wear them in my outer corners. So really love this shade, but I feel like because I'm kind of going back and forth between this one and Big Wig, which you'll see in a second, I haven't used it as much this month. So speaking of, I'm also working on Big Wig coming from my ABH Jackie Aina palette, and it's this beautiful purple shade right here. One thing that I have noticed about this, and someone I think has commented on it as well, is that it's not like super, it is pigmented I guess, but it gets a little patchy and you have to build it up a lot. So I feel like I'm dipping into the shade a lot when I do use it. And one thing about ABH shadows is they are usually pretty powdery, so I feel like we're definitely starting to see some progress on this one, even though I just very recently rolled it in. And I used this 7 times this month. So I've also worn this a couple times with some of the shades in my Shop My Stash project pan. So I have a liquid shadow in there. I also have like a single glitter shadow, and so I wore this in the outer corner with those shades, and it looked absolutely stunning paired with those 2 other shades. So definitely enjoying having this one in the project and being able to kind of use it across the board. The next 2 shades come from my Jaclyn Hill Morphe Volume 2 palette. The first being right here, Positivity. There is a small dip going in this one. It is a really, really bright coral that I've been mostly kind of using in the top part of my crease to just warm up that area of my eye. There's a variety of different ways I've used this in the past, but that's kind of the way that I found I like it the most. So progress on this one has been pretty slow because I'm kind of just barely dipping my brush in there and then not doing a lot of packing it on, I guess. And so it's been a little slow, but that's okay because I think this shadow works really well in that capacity, and I don't mind that I'm using it slower than maybe I would if I was just using it a different way. And I used this shadow 6 times this past month. And the super exciting update for today's video also comes from this palette. I hit pan on the shade Flawed and Odd right here, which is this really pretty orange shimmery shade. I used this a ton all over the lid this past month, or the last couple months I'd say, and it's just been a go-to shade for me, and I've been absolutely loving using it. So glad that it got rolled into this project. I think it's been really pretty and just a great like lid shade. And so I used that a total of 16 times this month. So I definitely put in work on this one, and so excited to have hit another pan in this project. So these are the 4 shades that are staying in the project. This is the shade that I'm rolling out. And now I'll grab my phone and do my randomizer app and pick a new shade to roll in. So 109 is the shade that was selected. And that shade comes from my ABH Jackie Aina palette again. So this always happens where the same palettes stay in this project, but we are working on the shade Sponsored, which I've used actually several times before, and I really like this shade. It's kind of like a, I don't even know how to describe it. It goes back and forth between like a blue teal shade and a brown purple. So like it looks really teal I think on screen right now, but depending on how I turn, like it looks a little bit maybe more brown there. You can kind of see it. So absolutely love that shade. Super fun to play around with. I think it'll be interesting to use it with this color story. I don't know if it works or it doesn't work. I guess we'll find out, but really excited just about bringing the shade in general. Super pretty one to work with, and I love this palette. I think I expressed a lot of excitement having Big Wig roll in, so I get to use this palette. So this just lets us work on another shade within that palette, which I'm really excited about. So this is where we are landing. These are the shades that I'll be working on in the month upcoming. So super excited to be focusing on these 5 shades and hopefully be hitting some new pans soon. So I hope you guys enjoyed this portion of the video. I'm actually going to transition to probably tomorrow, where I will be doing my makeup and using all 5 of these shades in an eyeshadow look. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Hi, so I am back and we are going to jump into my eye look for today. I'm running a little bit late, so I'm gonna try and make this as quick as possible while still using all 5 shades. So I am going to jump right in, pulling my More Excited shade for my crease. Next, I'm going to pull from my Jaclyn Hill Morphe Volume 2 palette. I'm going to pick up Positivity, and I'm just going to put that on my inner corner. Next, which I believe is the star of the show, is my new shade, Sponsored. So I am going to pick that up on my finger and then just apply that to the rest of the lid. I'm gonna have to lean in to look at my mirror, so sorry if I don't really get any good clips of me applying this. I'm gonna go back into my Excited with a different brush and just fluff out my crease a little bit. Sticking with ABH Jackie Aina, I am going to take a liner brush and pull Big Wig, and I'm just gonna put this in my outer corner. Okay, liner is on, so now I am grabbing my Avon liner and throwing that into my waterline. And then I am going to smudge that out with Garnet from my ColourPop So Jaded palette. And sorry, I totally feel like I'm rushing through this, but I'm legitimately late. So this is like a real life, gotta get this eye look done, but also want to use all 5 shades. Okay, all 5 shades are on my eye, so I'm going to finish up the rest of my makeup and then I will be right back. Okay, so this is my final look. I hope you all enjoyed this video and just getting to see the new pan I hit, which is super exciting, and the new shade that I rolled in, and of course getting to see all 5 shades used together like I did this morning. So as always, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.